The 2016 People's Presidential Project, a nonpartisan voter education project, is produced by Concord Community TV, which is located in Concord, New Hampshire. The project is underwritten by H.L. Turner Group. And now for the question that we asked the candidates. Please tell the people of New Hampshire, the nation, and the world why, as a possible future president of the United States, you will be the people's president.
Regardless of their circumstances, feels as though their life is once again filled with possibilities. Because that sense of limitless possibility is core to who we are. And I think we're
incompetent leaders, and especially incompetent leader at the top. He doesn't know what he's doing. Whether it's economics, where China and Japan and Mexico, not only
have really traversed every socioeconomic group in America, had an opportunity to work at all kinds of jobs, and really to see this nation from the inside out. And I've spent my entire
president because I believe in the greatness of this country. I believe we're on the verge of the greatest time to be alive because of the American people, their ability to innovate, their ability to transform, their ability to grow
and to believe very deeply in my core that the genius of our country is actually about the people of the United States, that our diversity is our greatest strength.
People's government. You look at Washington today, and too many of the politicians think that they are different from us, that they are more powerful than us, that the rules don't apply to them. And we have to change that and take back our government and make them
from the heart that regular people need a better opportunity in the United States of America than they're getting today. Republicans are not for just rich people or and being characterized that way. Republicans have got to be for regular.
In the hands of the big government special interest, put it firmly in the hands of the hardworking taxpayers. And if we were to choose to get in, that would be our same motive, is to take power out of Washington, put it back into the hands of not just the states, but most importantly of the American people.
Because I believe in our future, and I have the experience starting at the local level. I started at the very, very local level as a councilman, dealing with my neighborhood, making sure we had all the services, picked up the trash, plowed the snow, had good ball fields, but most of
proud Republican, but I have a reputation and a track record for working across the aisle when I think it's best for the country, taking my own party on at times. The bottom line is, if I get to be the president, what I can do is my
United States of America. My parents came here over 40 years ago, searching for everything. They fought to live. My dad wanted 9 kids.
And I think all people should expect. And I think all too often in politics we have people who try to pretend to be something else. If they think that's what works for the particular day, that's not me. So some days I'll be people's cup of tea and some days I won't. But they'll never have to wonder what I really think, what I really feel, and what I intend to do and what I won't do.
My father carried mail on his back, and my mother was in and out of the workforce depending on what was happening with us, with the kids. And one thing I learned in that neighborhood is they weren't always the one that got the promotion.
I want to take power away from the politicians and send it back to the states and the people. That means I would probably be the first president in anyone's lifetime who actually wanted to give up power, not take power. I think big government and so much power accumulated in one.
So what might we say to the question of why not?
He was, at one and the same time, one of the most effective and ineffective men I have ever known.
And so Wynant in 1914 decides, well, I'm going to run for the House. His father discourages him, not knowing anything about New Hampshire politics and probably thinking that's not the right way to go. And we don't pay our House members much of anything anyway. Whenever I think about John Gilbert Wynant, I think about something that Chester Nimitz, Admiral Chester Nimitz, said at the end of the Second World War. And they said, well, you're an extraordinary man. And he said, no, I'm an ordinary man asked to do an extraordinary thing.
Welcome to our 9th annual State of the City Address. Delighted to see you all here this morning. My name is Tim Sink. I'm president of the Greater Concord Chamber of Commerce.
My son and I have a bet, so after this line, we're going to see what happens. You ready? I am happy to report that the state of the city is strong. Hey, Kyle. So the bet was, he goes, Dad, do you think when you say that, like in Congress, they're all going to stand up and applaud, and half the room will sit down, and then they'll stand up? So that was not bad. That was pretty good. We talked a lot about economic development, and that's what you're going to find over the next year and a half, 2 years, that this city council is really going to focus on. This is the number one priority. The council sat down in January and talked about the priorities, and this was absolutely number one. So I went out and reached out to several organizations within the community and said, tell me what you think a good economic development plan would look like. And our own, we refer to as EDAC, or Economic Development Advisory Committee, got together and they said, look, we want you to have, we want you to put the plan together first and look longer term. Don't just think next year, 1 to 3 to 5 years. But we also think you need to create an economic development director type position within the city. I talk a lot about Main Street. You all enjoy it, right? Yes. Come on. Even the skeptics come up to me now and then and say, yeah, not so bad. All right, that's good. Right? Okay. So as you know, we're now on to the second phase, and all the calls, complaints have been shifted now to the south end of Main Street. So the people in the north end, you can now call and say thank you if you wish. But there's a lot of things going on. I think that Monday night you probably followed, we also decided to spend $2 million to bury the underground, or put the utilities underground for a portion of the street. This is my favorite picture, because notice in the first picture it's kind of like dab gray kind of sky, but afterwards it's blue and shiny and everything's good. And the number I want you to all really focus on here is the total number in 2015. We broke the 8,000 mark last year for calls for service in our fire department. That is a huge, huge number. We have a very active, busy fire department. One of the things I actually listened to the chief talk about is what is the demand, and there's a lot of issues, but one of the demands I want to look at is it's really the EMS. I mean, the EMS calls just continue to do this, and one of the biggest issues we see are slip and falls amongst our elderly. That's one of the biggest demands, and you can see when people talk about our aging population, there's a direct relationship to emergency services here. The next statistic I just wanted to point out real quickly. As I said, we do hear a lot about the opioids and such, and you can't minimize that. But I wanted you to see this chart where the huge demand for services is the psychiatric and the behavioral emergencies. It takes a lot of time and resources from our fire department. I think could do an amazing job at working with people, making sure that they're getting to their safe place that they need to be, having a great relationship with the hospital, having a great relationship with Riverbend to make sure that that everyone in this category really deserves the respect and gets the proper care that they need.
You can see there's 5 pieces to this. Well, the first piece is the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award, which we received this year for the first time ever. There's only one other community in the entire state that's ever received that award. That's Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And what that really is about is best practices in accounting and financial management. We are considered, between this and the Certificate of Achievement and Excellence in Financial Reporting, 21 years in a row, that is the longest streak. In the government financial accounting world, we are considered the Golden State Warriors or the Yukon Huskies of government financial management. And this is very unusual. 21 years is an incredible mark. And again, it goes back to our financial department in terms of what they've done. But really, the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence is all about transparency and disclosure. Do you make the information available and easily available and understandable to the community? And that's what that award is about, and we are the best. The next piece I'd like to talk about is the Standard & Poor's bond rating AA+. I'll tie that to the January bond sale of 1.881%. So we just went out for a bond sale. I think it was about 8.7 million, so let's round it off to about 9 million.